The mighty Mekong, a dangerous river that hides golden treasure. Religious artifacts worth millions of dollars were lost when a boat sank here in 1910. For a century, no one has beaten the ripping current and lethal rocks to recover the treasure.
This river's just right full of things that could kill you.
But father and son divers and explorers, Mike and Warren Fletcher, will push the limits of this river.
Whoa! Take a look at the surface. Do you see Warren up there?
And search the world for clues.
Wow. Didn't expect to see photographs of the ship.
To chase down the mystery of the River Buddha. The Mekong River surges through Southeast Asia for over 4,000 kilometers. Here in Laos, it provides food and water for millions of people and is the country's main artery for travel and trade. It is also home to a century-old mystery.
So a lot of river here to hide a shipwreck in. And a lot of dangerous water to be diving in.
The dive detective's target is La Grandière, a treasure-laden French gunboat that sank here on July 15, 1910. La Grandière patrolled the Mekong, helping to maintain French rule in Laos. She was 23 meters of steam-powered metal, bristling with 3 rapid-fire cannons. When she sank, she was carrying a precious cargo of Laotian treasures, including gold and bronze statues of Buddha. Artifacts whose removal is said to have triggered a curse on the doomed La Grandière and her crew. The Fletchers aim to locate the treasure and return it to the Lao people. But only a handful of divers have ever braved this river. So Mike Fletcher must determine if diving the Mekong is even possible.
Every once in a while you see this big upswelling of water and whirlpools and spots where it's boiling up from underneath. There's times when you can't tell which way the river's actually flowing because even though the water's flowing this way, there are back eddies that send the current going back upriver. It's a very confused current.
The river's current is unpredictable. It can surge to more than 20 kilometers an hour. Flash floods, treacherous rapids, and blade-sharp rocks claim hundreds of lives a year.
Look at all the different directions the water's moving through there. Imagine trying to dive in that. That's the kind of thing that scares me.
Mike looks for a location where he can test the waters. As his son Warren follows a trail of clues he hopes will lead them to the River Buddha. In London, England, Martin Bailey, a journalist, has discovered secret British government files about La Grandière's sinking.
This particular Foreign Office file was entitled Sunken Royal Treasures, and of course that just grabbed my attention.
And there are some kind of secret files? You said they were released?
They were released or declassified after 30 years.
The confidential file details correspondence between the British Foreign Office and Tony Beamish, a Briton working in Laos. It reveals that the British were searching for the same treasure. In 1964, they developed a detailed plan to salvage the treasure and return it to the King of Laos. And they pinpointed a specific area where they believed La Grandière had gone down.
The location was identified by Beamish, and this was the rapids of Tong Sum, and that was a few kilometers north of Tadua.
Okay, well that should help us out a lot.
Yes, I hope so.
The Mekong courses through Laos for more than 1,800 kilometers, forming a natural boundary with neighboring Myanmar and Thailand. The British identified this 500-meter stretch of water as the area to search. Mike follows the lead 60 kilometers downriver to the isolated town of Tadua. A ghostly haze hangs over this stretch of the river as farmers slash and burn the forest to cultivate crops. As the sky changes, so does the Mekong. currents grow stronger, and massive boulders now define the river cliffs. The raging river churns up sand, reducing visibility to almost zero. These conditions are extremely dangerous, even for a world-class professional diver like Mike.
The sand is literally full of water, and it really is quicksand. Imagine what it's like out there where the sand is in constant motion. But you would not want to struggle too long in this, you'd be gone.
Two things will determine if the Fletchers can investigate this place: underwater visibility and the current's speed and strength. And the only way to test them is to get in the water. Mike ties a guide rope to a rock to prevent the Mekong from sweeping him away. Air cells in a wetsuit add buoyancy in the water. If the current snatches Mike off the line, he should return to the surface, rather than being trapped underwater. But taking the plunge here is dangerous. Laos does not have a diving industry, and few people have ever explored the river's treacherous depths. The name Mekong comes from the Thai, meaning mother of waters, a force with the power to give life and to take it away. Many believe the river is home to the Naga, gigantic serpent-like creatures that hide in its depths, and to which the Lao people make sacrifices.
You just can't see anything down here. It's terrible. It's near zero visibility with all the sand churning in the water. All I can see with my light is an orange glow.
The poor visibility means they will not be able to search for the treasure by sight. And the river's currents still need to be tested. It's the dry season, and the river is at its lowest, but it's still moving fast, roughly 11 kilometers an hour, and it can quickly spike to more than double that speed. In flood, the Mekong is deadly. In 2000, more than 800 people, mostly children, lost their lives. Mike drifts downstream, racing past rocky outcrops, over submerged fish nets, and through whirlpools that could capture and trap him.
I'm good, yeah. Well, I'm really glad I did it, because now I have a much better sense of the river. I got actually caught in a whirlpool there for a bit, and it did spin me around. And I did feel at times that the river could try and pull you down. Wonderfully exciting to think that I may have just now drifted over top of our shipwreck, the Grandier.
But the Fletchers will need a plan to battle the current before they can search for the treasure. A continent away, Warren is on the trail of La Grandiere's commander in the general's hometown of Grenoble, France. It's nearly a century since General de Bellier died on the Mekong. He was a commander in the French colonial force in Indochina and obsessed with collecting local art. At the family estate, Henri de Pazy, a descendant, has a surprise for Warren.
Bon, voilà une photo du La Grandière.
Wow. Didn't expect to see photographs of the ship.
Warren gets his first proper look at the target. The photograph shows La Grandière actually traveling the Mekong. The steamship was powered by a large metal boiler. It's an important detail for the team and will help them choose the right technology to assist their search.
I wonder when this photo was taken, it certainly looks like the river's in high flood there. You can actually see trees underwater, just the top sticking up out of the water.
La Grandière made her fateful